Welcome in, ladies.
Station record.
Thank you, Sam. Station record. I think Steiny has the record for the latest, either legal or read. Sometimes he does it like 2 hours later, but you know what? He gets it in. I was going to segue there, but didn't want to do that. Backtrack. Toot, toot, toot. Welcome in. It's not raining, knock on wood, right now, so still be safe on those roadways, but I appreciate you checking in with us, and you can contribute to the show at 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text the Comcast Business text line. We'll get into Super Bowl, obviously. Warriors, they get the dub last night for Dub Nation, 109-98 against the Brooklyn Nets. They needed that one desperately. Nets are not good. Warriors, they're trying to just maintain mediocrity at this point, tread water. They're 22-25 now, 9-12 on the road, and we got 2 days until the NBA trade deadline. What will they do? It's a great question. I don't know. What should they do? 888-957-9570. They have one more game tomorrow against the Sixers, and Joel Embiid, for those of you who don't know, will not be playing in that game. He is going to be out for a length of time with a torn meniscus. They're going to do surgery there. They're hoping to get him back before the season's over. Huge loss for them, but you know what? Could be a huge boost for the Warriors, who are trying to claw back to 500. And can they do that? You know, they can't do it before this road trip ends, but, you know, you start looking at the schedule. Sixers tomorrow, Pacers Thursday, 2 winnable games. Pacers will be tough. Feels like they've played the Warriors very tough, although who hasn't played the Warriors tough in the last couple of years? Then you're at home against Phoenix. They're hot. And then you got the Jazz on the road. Clippers, they're hot. And the Jazz again. Obviously some makeup games there. And then you got the Lake Show. So you need to take advantage of these last 2 games on the road. Get to a game under 500 and then see what happens. But as it pertains to the trade deadline, do you think the Warriors, as of today, should stand pat? Should they look to move some players? What say you, Warriors fans? 888-957-9570. And your thought about the win last night. Listen, I'm not going to, be breaking down this game. Shout out Evan Giddings, Warriors wrap-up. He did that enough for this station last night, doing a hell of a job on Warriors pre and post right here at 95.7 The Game, your home for Warriors basketball. But it was just nice to see a win for a team that can't seem to string together wins at all. They've won 3 of their last 4. That helps. Andrew Wiggins, he was missed. But even without a Wiggins and even without a Klay playing well, when you're going up against a team like the Nets, I'm relying on my stud. That being Stephen Curry. 12 of 24, 29 points last night, 4 of 11 from beyond the arc. 3-point shooting has not been there as of late, but I appreciate the volume of shots. Hey, if I'm going down, I'm going down with my best guy. And that's Stephen Curry. I need him to be taking 20 plus, hell, touch 30 if you want. Chef. You need to have that guy playing his best. It also helps when someone else in that starting lineup steps up. And as of late, Jonathan Kuminga, it's the best stretch of his career. 9 of 18, 10 of 12 from the line. Oh my goodness. JK, not only getting to the line, but finishing. And then he gets the 10 boards. A little double-double action. 28 points for Jonathan Kuminga. Very impressive. And this guy, he's really making a name for himself now. And people are starting to backpedal their takes on Jonathan Kuminga a little bit. The naysayers, was it Jalen Milroe and Reese Davis? Let a naysayer know. That's what Jonathan Kuminga is doing right now. By the way, shout out Pods. Polish pride, baby. Brandon Pajemski. The Rook, 15 points, 11 boards. He's feisty out there. I'm not here to say Pajemski's going to be this, all-world starter. He's going to be a fixture on this squad as a starter for a long time to come. But can he be a legitimate role player and a guy that could step into a starting lineup if you need him to and give you 38 minutes like he did last night? Absolutely. Can he give you that youthful exuberance that this team desperately needs at times, like they got last night with Kuminga and Pods? Absolutely. No Trace Jackson-Davis? No problem. That was a big win for the Warriors. Just for the mentals. They desperately needed that. Here's Steve Kerr after the game on thoughts on the team's defensive performance. Brooklyn only got 98.
Our defense was really good. I know they missed some shots tonight that they've hit last few games. I mean, they've been pretty hot from three. They definitely missed some open ones, but I just thought our defense was pretty solid. And then we made a lot of second effort type plays. Guy Santos was amazing. Just getting on the floor for loose balls, getting offensive rebounds, generating extra possessions, and obviously Steph and JK kind of handled the offense, but it was a really good team effort.
We'll get to the Super Bowl. We'll get to Niners. We'll get to Chiefs and what's going on with the 49ers and their practice field. Not looking too great. Pouring rain down in the desert. Not a good time. But did you guys hear Steve Kerr there? That was an elite talk through of a burp if I've ever heard one. Listen to that again and catch where I caught it halfway through this soundbite. Steve Kerr talking about the defensive performance, talking through, powering through a belch.
Our defense was really good. I know they missed some shots tonight that they've hit last few games. I mean, they've been pretty hot from three. They definitely missed some open ones, but I just thought our defense was pretty solid.
You guys get that one? Thank you, Steve. That was elite. Just powered through it. Just not even going to acknowledge the burp. That's like me at the dinner table talking to my kids and just trying to just relax. Yeah, Betty. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Gotta love Steve Kerr. Good morning to all of you on the Twitch and YouTube chats powered by First NorCal Credit Union. We're streaming all day long right here on 95.7 The Game. 888-957-9570 is the number. And also hit us up via call or text there. Good morning to Harold, EJ, Hamza. 49ers fans were representing in Vegas, Harold. And we're going to get some of that sound throughout the day for you, especially on the morning roast for Media Day, which always it's just so odd and awkward if you're the player. Just hundreds of media, all the cameras on you, all these questions from God knows where. The star of last night, who was my guy? Little man on NFL Network. I'm going to look him up. He was asking Patrick Mahomes, just the poise on this kid. NFL Network boy asked Mahomes. I want to get his name right. Here we go. Looking at it right now. Jeremiah Fennell or Fennel. Apologies if I'm pronouncing the last name incorrectly. But Jeremiah and Patrick Mahomes, maybe I'll grab this at the break. This kid, I'm a little nervous in the media game. He's gunning for all of our jobs. Only 11 years old. This guy sounds like a pro. We'll get to that sound. But he got his all-time team, Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes, basically saying, if you need me to be the villain, and he's basically talking to all the Niner fans there, I'll be the villain for you. Now, he's not your prototypical villain. Off the field, I have no problems with Patrick Mahomes. If you have a problem with Patrick Mahomes, it's probably not even related to him. It's probably the antics of his wife. It's probably his younger brother, or his father. But even then, what's going on with his dad, the DWI and stuff like that, that's nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, I hope the dad, I know this is his fifth or sixth offense of that. I hope he gets help. That's some scary stuff. Under the influence of anything, drugs, alcohol, anyone going through that, don't get behind the wheel. I know all of us have been impacted some way or somehow with someone getting behind the wheel and being under the substance of something. Don't be stupid. Get an Uber, get a Lyft, call up a buddy. Hey, I'd rather get a call at 3 a.m. from someone that needs me to pick them up. I don't even care where it is. Hit me up. I will be down there. But Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs were getting booed last night at Allegiant Stadium. The 49er fans showed out at Media Day. By the way, what do you even do if you're a fan there at Media? Like, you're just in the stands looking at everyone. Do they show it on the big screen there? If anyone was at Media Day yesterday in Vegas, let me know. 888-957-9570. That whole, circus that is Media Day always fascinates me because you're getting all these random questions not pertaining to the game. And I get that. You get that weekly throughout the regular season and the playoffs. And it starts to ramp up more and more in the playoffs because you get the national perspective. And I'm sure you got, Us Weekly, In Touch, Vogue. I don't even know. People asking about Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce constantly. I think someone asked Travis about whether or not Taylor Swift had a parking spot for her private jet. Like, what are you supposed to say to that? I don't know. So awkward. These guys are put in impossible positions. And you know what? They handle it well. It was nice to see George Kittle and Kelce, chopping it up there. Two of the best tight ends, and if not the best in the league since coming into the league. Kelce obviously going for history here. If he keeps this up, he's probably going to go down as the greatest tight end in NFL. It's not even probably. He is. But the most complete tight end in the NFL right now, it's not even a question. It's George Kittle. So I look at them as kind of two different type of players. Even though they're the same position, they do different things. And Shanahan spoke to that this past week, too, about Kelce. I believe with Peter King. He did a sit-down with him talking about the weapons, stuff like that. He's not sleeping on Travis Kelce. He says I know I've seen him drops this year. That's uncharacteristic of Travis. But you know what? When push comes to shove, he makes the winning plays. So if I'm the 49ers, I'm asking Rashee Rice. I'm asking Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Hell, Kadarius freaking Toney, who backtracked $1 billion yesterday at Media Day. Yeah, my Instagram Live when I was complaining about my injuries and, not getting playing time, that actually wasn't a shot at the Kansas City Chiefs. It was actually Giants fans in my comments. What? Please. Smarter than that, Kadarius. Is he even going to play in this game? Is he even going to suit up? What do you say? He's a number one wide receiver if he gets the ball in his hands. He's got to get the ball. How about you catch the ball if it's thrown to you? How about that? 49er fans, I think, are hoping Kadarius Toney plays in this game. Drop City. 888-957-9570. Good morning to all of you on the Comcast Business text line. 415. Already a practice facility gate for the Super Bowl. Speaking of the practice facility, here is Adam Schefter yesterday on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN talking about the conditions at UNLV on the practice field. So, quick backstory, the NFL, they go through all this rigorous process prior to the Super Bowl of making sure all the practice fields for everything are up to code, up to standard for professional players. The Raiders, obviously, they're up to code. They are a NFL organization. They are a world-class performance center now that the home team, which is the AFC this year, it alternates every year for the Super Bowl. They get first dibs, and the Chiefs got that. So the Raiders facility is the Chiefs facility for this week. UNLV is where the 49ers are at. And they practice on AstroTurf. Well, I don't know call it AstroTurf, just turf, whatever. NFL, in their infinite wisdom, decided to put natural grass over said turf. Problem is, they didn't expect rain. And it's been storming out in the desert. And that's created a bit of an issue for the surface in which the 49ers are playing. Adam Schefter, take it away.
I can tell you, having spoken to various Niners people already, they don't seem particularly pleased. Now, they're going to be on the practice field for the first time today at noon Pacific, but there already have been complaints that there are seams in the practice field, that it feels like they're walking around on a sponge. I guess the NFL last week laid sod on top of the field turf, and this has nothing to do with UNLV. UNLV is kind of an innocent bystander in this. And the league has rules or bylaws or procedures that are set up that call for the Super Bowl practice fields to be checked out and mandated by December. And last week, they're laying the turf on there. Now, the league is saying it's not a player's safety health issue, not in violation, all those things. That's fine. I can tell you the Niners are not happy.
They're not happy. I don't blame them. This is the most important week for Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, John Lynch, and this entire team and organization. And for you not to feel comfortable with your footing on the practice surface to get prepared for your toughest opponent of the year, potentially, in the Kansas City Chiefs, yeah, I'd be pissed. I'm not trying to have any of my guys have a serious injury. And again, you heard it from Schefter there. It's not UNLV's fault. It sounds like the NFL half-assed this thing. They said they just put the sod in a week ago. I mean, at this point, you'd rather just have the turf, right? Instead of that shoddy sod on there. Shout out Saudi Arabia, get it? Give myself a 2. It's 5:17 a.m. on the pregame show. Joe Spinoni. Cut me some slack here, baby. 888-957-9570 is the number. Are you concerned, Niners fans, about, are we calling it Fieldgate? Not Field Yates. Love me some Field Yates, ESPN, fantasy football. But Fieldgate? Is this a legit unfair advantage for Kansas City? I always thought the week of the Super Bowl was more of a walkthrough anyways. Don't they do all their hard practices last week, if I'm not mistaken? So it shouldn't be that much of a problem. I understand you still have to go through walkthroughs. You got to get some reps in. You got to, not tire yourself out, but you still got to get some reps in, get some mental reps at the very least. And not even feeling comfortable with the footing. There's seams, there's divots. Not good. Mitchapalooza out in Jersey. He wants to join in the conversation.
Yep.
What's going on, Mitch?
Heading back to the hub. I got my eyes in a row, but I'm listening to your show. Good show, by the way. I would think the 49ers, the last pick in the draft going against the lottery pick, I would think the 49ers, even though they're favorite, it's just this guy, Patrick Mahomes, he's not already, he's top 3 quarterback already. But if anybody's the villain, I would say it'd be Kelsey. Because without Kelsey, and of course without Holmes, without Kelsey, he's their best weapon for Patrick Mahomes. I would say Kelsey. Even their running back, Pacheco. I mean, Rutgers, he has surprised me in his pro career already.
Totally. That's Mitch out in Jersey, giving his thoughts on the big game. Yeah, Kelsey is a problem. Pacheco is a problem. But you got Christian McCaffrey. You got George Kittle. You've got Deebo Samuel. You got Brandon Ayuk. I'm not worried about the 49ers offense in this game. I'm really not. Steve Wilkes, what do you got? And then listen, I talked about it yesterday. The number one matchup for me will be the offense of the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan versus the defense and Steve Spagnuolo of the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the X's and O's factor. That's what it's ultimately going to come down to. But there's going to be plays to be made. Patrick Mahomes, he'll give you, 1 or 2 balls where you need to come down with it. I was looking at the box score for the last time these two teams played in the Super Bowl 4 years ago. I got it up right here. February 2nd, 2020. Man, time flies, doesn't it? Although that year of 2020 felt like an eternity. Patrick Mahomes, here's his stat line. 26 of 42, 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. He got sacked 4 times in that game. I mean, if I was to tell you that was his stat line this coming Sunday, I'd feel pretty good. Okay, he got a couple touchdowns, but he turned it over twice, and he got sacked 4 times. I'm feeling awesome. Juxtapose that with Jimmy Garoppolo. Compare it. 20 of 31, 219, touchdown, 2 picks, and he was sacked once. That's not good enough. All Jimmy had to do was have a clean game. The 49ers win. I'm looking at Brock Purdy. Dicey at best in the playoffs with some of these turnovers, right? It always is going to come down to, who's going to make the big play, who's going to make the big mistake, the mental errors in a game. Mahomes made the mistakes. The problem is they canceled each other out because your own guy made the mistakes too. And I expect, not the same, it's 4 years ago. I'm not expecting the same thing. They had Tyreek Hill, 3rd and 15. Obviously, things changed. But Patrick Mahomes, if he doesn't have his weapon, Kelsey, if you're doubling him constantly, trying to take him out of the game, is going to try to throw it to first-year man Rashee Rice, a guy in Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who had a big catch in the conference championship game. Obviously, it iced the game in Baltimore. But he's been struggling really since Green Bay catching the ball. You got Pacheco out of the backfield. He's more of a power runner, though. And then Kadarius Toney is got to give me another healthy scratch. I mean, he's got the speed. If he gets the ball in his hands, he's a dynamic player. Problem is he can't catch it. 888-957-9570. Talking Super Bowl matchups. Talking X's and O's. Talking field surfaces. Are we concerned, 49ers fans? Are we that concerned about this surface? I mean, come on. Really? I don't think this is going to be an excuse. If the 49ers lose this game, we're not going back and saying, oh, but the field surface. No, it's just annoying. It's just an irritant. Like, get your crap together, NFL. It's $1 billion business. I saw whoever it was, the mayor of Las Vegas, whoever the hell it was, saying that the city of Las Vegas is generating $1 billion of revenue. I don't know if that's half-assed or overblown, but $1 billion of revenue this week. That's what Vegas is generating from the Super Bowl. But we can't even get our practice fields right? Come on. Miss me with that crap. Before we hit the break, let's go out to our guy, Filmo Mike. I'm honored, Filmo, at 5:20 a.m. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, Spadoni. You sounding good. But, man, if the Chiefs, you feel me? If the Chiefs pull that, they try to do the 6-7 defensive backs, I really feel like we could take advantage of it. Also, defensively, I don't know if we just want to kind of let Kelsey cook and stop everybody else, but I don't think we should do that. I think we should focus on Kelsey because Kelsey and get inside pressure on Mahomes. My last point is, and I know we haven't been doing this all season, but wouldn't it be a perfect time to break out, have Elijah Mitchell in the backfield, start splitting and bringing McCaffrey out and playing him in the slot a little bit, just to throw a wrinkle in there? I don't want to go against what we've been doing the whole year, but I would love to see Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, and Elijah Mitchell out there because you got the threat with Elijah. He can still run the ball, and then you got McCaffrey and whoever else doing their thing out there, man.
Appreciate you. That's Filmo Mike right there. 888-957-9570. You know, I understand where he's coming from. This is going to be a kitchen sink game. It's the last game of the season. Everything is on the table. Everything. So yes, to Filmo's point, Elijah Mitchell, sure. I'd like to see more of Christian McCaffrey than Elijah Mitchell, but I understand what he's saying. Hey, bring this guy in, give me some routes, line up McCaffrey. If this guy is dynamic at both receiving and running the ball, let's tap into that. Steve Spagnuolo and these defensive backs, to Filmo Mike's point, they're elite. And he's going to throw some wrinkles at you. Aiden O'Connell, quarterback for the Raiders, obviously very familiar with the Kansas City Chiefs, was talking. He was on Radio Row yesterday. You know, my guy, he's a rookie. He's just trying to get some money out there any way he can. I don't know what he was. It was him and Jacoby Myers. They were a duo receiver for the Raiders. And they were talking about the Chiefs defense and how you can't game plan for one specific defense with the Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive corner. You just can't. They're constantly tinkering throughout the game. They're evolving and adapting in the game. And that's a scary proposition. Not only for the defense and the players, because you are trusting your players to now scrap everything that was told to them, the quarter prior. all right, this is what we're doing. This is what I expect you to do. Let's go out there and execute. But when you have the players to do that, that's a dangerous combination for the opposing offense as well. But that's why I love Shanny. You know, he could be stubborn to a fault, but he can adjust if you need him to. Now, if he's playing from behind, it's a little harder. But if you're within striking distance, you know, you look at the games in these playoffs. They were down. Shanahan had to adjust on the fly. I give him credit for that. It's not his strongest suit, I would say, but he can do it. And he may need to in this game. If they're down early, let's say they're down 10-0 or something like that, something needs to change, sure. If it's Elijah Mitchell and you're tossing out, you know, Christian McCaffrey and you're just trying to get the passing game going, the passing attack, you know, a dump off to Christian McCaffrey, it's kind of like a plus no matter what. A dump off to him, you're feeling like you're getting at least 5, 6, 7 yards at a time. We're up against it. Got to take a quick break. More of your calls, more of your texts, 888-957-9570. The matchup that concerns you the most and the matchup that you're most confident in this Super Bowl. Love to hear your thoughts. Well, I can also get into more Warriors if you'd like. Warriors 109, Brooklyn Nets 98. Warriors with a much-needed win. Brady Pajemski, Rook, double-double. Jonathan Kuminga, 28 and 10. Steph doing what he does. That's 29 points for the chef, Stephen Curry. Guy Santos, the Brazilian Blur Part 2, 9 points. All right, I'm mad at you. Team high plus 13 for Guy Santos. We can get into that. More Steve Kerr thoughts. Stephen Curry talked after the game. 888-957-9570. Oh, and the countdown is on, baby. San Francisco Sheriff's Office countdown to kick off. The clock says right now, on February 11th, 2024, the year of our Lord, 5 days, 10 hours, 2 minutes, 14 seconds on 95.7 The Game.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different?
Thanks, Tim. It's my friend, Tim Roy, at the rejoin there. Voice of your Golden State Warriors, who got a dub last night for Dub Nation. 109-98, the final. Warriors improved to 22-25 on the year. Nets fall to 20-29. They're probably still in it, though, in the whack Eastern Conference. Let's look at the standings right now as it pertains to the Warriors real quick. Well, we'll get back. Don't worry. We'll get back to the Super Bowl because apparently Brock Purdy had a SpongeBob SquarePants impression last night. Oh, boy. Really? We're doing SpongeBob. See, this is what I'm talking about the media day. You put these guys in uncomfortable situations. I'm assuming it was the Nickelodeon crew, though, because they're doing the Super Bowl this year, too, if I'm not mistaken. And at the halftime show, they're doing this SpongeBob, what was that song? They did like a halftime show episode way back when. I'm talking to a lot of people right now who probably, what the hell, like Joe Shasky. He's like, I don't know SpongeBob. It's a generational thing. SpongeBob came out like 99, 98. I was 5, 6 years old. For some of us, it's like the cartoon when we were kids. For Brock Purdy, I'm sure it's the same thing. So I can't wait to hear that. Maybe I'll grab that at the break. But as it stands for the Golden State Warriors, 22-25, currently the 12th seed in the Western Conference. You got the Thunder and T-Wolves battling it out, both 35-15, 1-2 respectively. You got the Clippers right there, half game back, 34-15, the 3 seed. Then you got the Nuggets, it's the 4, Kings at the 5th, Suns, Pelicans, Mavericks, Lakers, who are now 2 games over 500. They've won 3 in a row. Then you got the Jazz lingering, and then you got the Rockets. This is not going to be easy for the Dubs to even get into the play-in tournament. So any win, they will take it. They don't care how it looks. But as far as, titles and stuff like that, we're not even talking about championships or playoffs. Can they just stay in the play-in tournament at this point? That's going to be the question for the Golden State Warriors. Because right now, your play-in scenarios, Lakers, Jazz, 9-10, Pelicans, Mavericks, 7-8. That's not easy. That is not easy at all. A lot of young talent on all those squads. Oh, by the way, a guy named LeBron James, who's very cryptic lately, LeBron James. The hourglass emoji, times tick. Like, yeah, we get it. You're old, LeBron. I don't know what you want to do. Are you trying to force yourself to get traded? I don't know. Who's giving up all this for LeBron? I mean, you should if you feel like you're one piece away. Shout out One Piece, Luffy, King of the Pirates. He will be, don't worry. By the way, speaking of a show that's been going on forever, is that ever going to end? Talking to all my anime nerds out there. Thank you. I don't know what Jabba has to do with anime nerds, but I like to laugh nonetheless. It's going to be very difficult for the Warriors to contend in this Western Conference. Not just this year, but for years to come, if they don't shake some things up. Klay Thompson, God love him, not going to cut it. I mean, I'm getting the amount of triple single texts I've been getting today and in the chat. It's unbelievable. And you can hit us up at 888-957-9570. Also hit us up on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Just search 95.7 The Game. Like and subscribe there. We're streaming all day long. Talking Super Bowl, talking Dubs. Brian Baldinger joining the Morning Roast, NFL Network analyst, former NFL offensive lineman, and 95.7 NFL insider, joins the Morning Roast each and every Tuesday at 7:30. And Baldy live from Las Vegas. Cannot wait to hear his thoughts and get his prediction on this game, this big game, some might say, on Sunday between the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs. So can't wait for that. Steve Kerr on Klay Thompson's struggles.
He's fine. I mean, this is a season where, he's had a lot of ups and downs.
Whoa. He's fine? I had to stop that in my track. He's fine? Really? I'm not here to crush Klay Thompson or anything like that, but he's fine? I'm just looking at his recent game log right now. He's fine. Let me pull it up right now. 8 points, 10 points, 14. Okay, 24. 9 of 24 shooting. 16, 5 of 14, 2 of 7 from beyond the arc. 8 of 18, 24 points. 9 points, 7 of 23 for 21. 9 of 19 for 30. Okay. 13 points, 25. Like, the shooting's just not there. And if the shooting's not there for Klay right now, it's going to be a slog. He's shooting 32%. I know it's 3 games in the month of February. Relax, Joe, but 32% right now, the last 3 games. 16% from beyond the arc. He's averaging 10 points, 1 assist, 4 boards. Okay. But I guess he's fine.
He's fine. I mean, this is a season where, he's had a lot of ups and downs, and, it's not easy, for a guy who's been so good and, Hall of Fame player to deal with, the injuries, and it's never easy for any player getting older, but he's mentally tough. He plays through everything. I'd like to get some of our depth back so that we can, give him a little more rest and, maybe not play him on some back-to-backs, try to, ease the load that he has. But Klay's going to help us win plenty of games going forward.
Listen, I understand the position Steve Kerr is in. He's not going to go out and say he needs to play better. This is a guy that has done so much for this organization. Guy had 2 major injuries. Were we ever going to expect him to be the same? No. But aging superstars and superstars that had major injuries, this is what it tends to look like late in their careers. Not good. You even heard Steve Kerr say it there. It's hard when you're getting older. He says it all right there. And for right now, it's a slog for Klay Thompson. It just is. On the season, 17 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, shooting 41%. I mean, he's a volume shooter right now that doesn't play defense, and if he does, he's getting blown by. Thankfully, Jonathan Kuminga has emerged as a number 2 now, enough to where the Warriors could possibly start stacking wins with Klay not playing well, which was not the case early on in the season. And for most of the season, it's been Steph and who? Not Wiggins. It wasn't Kuminga early on. As of late, it has been. And it hasn't been Klay. So thankfully, the emergence of Jonathan Kuminga will hopefully remove the spotlight on Klay Thompson's poor performance, and we'll all start just noticing Jonathan Kuminga's. I'm sure that's what Klay wants, because it's not fun talking about Klay Thompson as the basketball player right now. It's just not. It's a struggle, and it's hard to watch. It's tough. Father Time's undefeated. He really is. 888-957-9570. These break times are undefeated too, so I got to hit them. More of your calls, more of your texts. Warriors win. And we'll get into some more of Media Day in Vegas yesterday as it pertains to Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, and apparently there's a SpongeBob SquarePants impression involved. I need to hear this on 95.7 The Game.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself.
Show on 95.7 The Game.
R.I.P. Tracks a Million. God, this beat's so hard. Too Short, Tracks a Million, Mr. Fab. All time. Pre-game show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. We got one more segment before handing it off to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. They're going to be joined by none other than Brian freaking Baldinger. That's a fact. Freaking. That's his middle name. Check his birth certificate. He'll be live from Las Vegas, where the 49ers will be facing the Kansas City Chiefs in 5 days, 9 hours, 41 minutes, 12, 11, 10 seconds. That's courtesy of San Francisco Sheriff's Office countdown to kickoff clock. There's this huge clock here in the studio. And just look at it. It's in red, yellow, black. I love it. Great. It feels that I get Jack Bauer vibes just looking at it. Shout out 24. Actually, I have that somewhere. Where is it? Where's my 24 countdown? Did I lose it? It's all right. I loved 24. I watched it as like a kid, like I was like 10, 11. Jack Bauer, an all-time character. You put Jack Bauer and John Wick together, they may have been able to defeat Thanos. And Thanos obviously being Patrick Mahomes this week for the 49ers. Who's going to be Iron Man? Who's going to be Captain America? I feel like Brock Purdy is Captain America, right? He's the aw shucks guy. You know, he's fiery when he needs to be. But who doesn't like Brock Purdy? Seriously. And even more so after Media Day yesterday, when the Nickelodeon correspondents asked a question to Brock. Here's what he had to say.
Can you give us your best SpongeBob impression?
Yeah.
I'll try. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. That was great.
Brock Purdy. Your Brock Purdy, America, doing a SpongeBob SquarePants impression. One more time.
Can you give us your best SpongeBob impression?
Yeah.
I'll try. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. That was great.
Oh my God. You know what? I hope Brock wins the MVP. And I hope they ask him to do it again. That's Captain America right there. He gets it. And yes, for those of you who don't know, SpongeBob SquarePants, if you've been living under the rock the last 24 plus years, Patrick Star, Squidward, Sandy Cheeks, Mr. Krabs, everyone. Pearl, Larry the Lobster. I'm just going to keep naming characters. Neptune, Patchy the Pirate. Come on. Who doesn't love SpongeBob? Brock Purdy. God love him. I hope he wins the MVP now. I hope he gets the Nickelodeon Slime MVP. I hope he gets slimed there at Allegiant Stadium. All time. All these guys think they're too cool for school. All these athletes and stuff like that. Brock, he gets it. That really endeared me to him. It really did. I didn't think it would this much. Maybe it did the opposite for some of you. I don't know. 888-957-9570. Good morning to all of you on the YouTube chat. Morali, Brock's got personality. He just hides it. He's got personality, that's for sure. That's for sure. I don't know if he hides it. I think he's just a chill guy. But you ask him questions like that, they open up. That is one of the perks of Media Day, and we're going to play a lot of it for the morning roast. We're going to cut up a lot of it and play it there for Bonte and Shasky, for all of us to interact with. But that's the fun stuff, right? There's the serious stuff, the nitty-gritty, the X's and O's, who you're going to be accounting for, the whole, all that sort of stuff. And that's fine. And yeah, there's some out of this world questions where it's like, what the hell is that? But then you get the fun stuff like that. I appreciated that. Get a little insight on the man, Brock Purdy. A little bit. 415. The critics will say, but can Brock do an impression of an elite NFL quarterback? I like that. 925. Purdy is like Spider-Man. I'm going more Captain America. Spider-Man, I get the youthfulness of it, but Cap, he was the leader, man. Brock's the leader of that offense. He is. George Kittle's more like the Hulk, right? Big guy, maybe Fred Warner. And Drain Greenlaw, he gets a little angry. I can do this all day, by the way. It's my wheelhouse. Just comps to comic books. Because sports talk radio, if you already didn't know and listening to us constantly, it's just another nerd universe. And we just like to put sports in front of it. But really, we're all nerds. I mean, the amount of references, the amount of movie references, television show references, comic book references, it's off the charts. We're all a bunch of nerds when it comes to sports talk radio. And if you say you're not a nerd, you're a liar. You just are. Because we have cornered this market as macho-ness. It's all sports. No, we're all nerds. Deep down. Whether you like to admit it or not. We all are. Need to go back to the Comic-Con. Love me some Comic-Con. San Diego, baby. Anyways. It's going to kill me every time. Thank you. Jabba the Hutt meets SpongeBob. Brock Pants. What are we calling it? What's Brock Purdy's name as SpongeBob? 888-957-9570. We're having fun. We're 5 days away from the Super Bowl. Come on. I know we have time to get down to the nitty gritty. Once it hits Thursday, then Friday, you're going to start to feel it. But we're still 5 days away from the biggest game of his life. And he's given us SpongeBob SquarePants impersonations. That is who I want my quarterback to be. I really do. Nothing phases him. Nothing. He's going up against Patrick freaking Mahomes. And he has been compared ad nauseum to one of the greatest, if not the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. Yeah, I'd feel a little inadequate at times too. But he's keeping himself so measured. And for him to say, I don't compare myself to guys like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Because you know what? I'll never be those guys. They can be them. I'll be me. That's what Brock Purdy has been. And it's easier said than done. In any line of work, you are comparing yourself to the opposition or to the best in your field who you work with. Constantly. Happens in sports talk radio. You're comparing yourself to whatever big shows out there, other whatever. Any line of work, you're going to do that. And Brock, deep down, maybe he is, comparing him. But for him to go out and say, you know what? I can only be me, the best version of me. And the best version of Purdy will be enough to beat the Chiefs. Believe that. If both these quarterbacks play their A games, and this might be a hot take, I don't care. If both these quarterbacks play their A games this Sunday, the 49ers are winning. I truly believe that. If both of these quarterbacks play their best this Sunday at Allegiant Stadium, the 49ers will be Super Bowl champions. Do you agree with that? 888-957-9570. Because when I look at it, this offense for the 49ers is at its best when their quarterback is humming on all cylinders. Try blitzing him. He'll pick you apart. If you get pressure in his face, you know what? He's slippery enough. He's like an eel. He'll get out of there. He's got some of that Tony Romo-ness to him. But more clutch. He is. And Tony Romo, ironically, will be calling the game. I'd wonder if Tony Romo has been asked if he sees a little bit of himself in Brock Purdy. Relax. Steve Wilkes equals Nick Fury. I love that. Derek Parks agrees. Absolutely 100% agree. The mentality, both quarterbacks playing their best, Niners win. Brock would be Batman because he has all the weapons at his disposal. Yeah, but he's not Bruce Wayne. I love Brock. He's not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne. Who was Bruce Wayne in the NFL? That's a great one. Tom. He's got a pretty boy, right? Jimmy Garoppolo. No, Jimmy was Bruce Wayne. Yeah, he was. Whether we like to admit it or not, Jimmy was Bruce Wayne. He's got the $1 million smile. And for a moment there, he played like Batman. He did. Now, we're just hoping, like in Super Bowl 4 years ago, that they don't run into Bane and Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, breaking Christian Bale's back in half, because that's what happened. We don't want that. We don't want that. Batman, I love him. He's not cutthroat enough for me, though. He lets these people live. No, we gotta have that killer mentality. Brock, I think he's going to be that. I need Captain America to show up. Hell, maybe SpongeBob. 888-957-9570. We're up against it. 5 days, 9 hours, 31 minutes on the dot. 49ers, Chiefs. Can't freaking wait. Brian Baldinger coming up 7:30 to break it all down live from Las Vegas. Bonte Hill, Joe Shasky, they're coming up next to break it all down. They'll break it down. The Warriors win as well. But a lot of media day, a lot of chatter on 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube.